what she said. So I want to know what she said. And hey, if you're on YouTube right now, you're watching this new segment, please do me a favor. Hit that like, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified. Drop a comment down below about what you think about it. You can hate it, you can love it. Argue in the comments. Do what you gotta do. But I'm here for you.
Word on my way in that many of the journalists were confused as to why I was invited, and none of them knew that I myself was the victim of a hate crime when I was in high school. That's something that very few people know about me, because the media and the journalists and the left are not interested in telling the truth about me, because I don't fit.
Did I not just say that 5 seconds ago? Did I not just say that? All we talk about is your turning point. Ironically, as you are the turning point committee chairman.
Fit the stereotype of what they like to see in black people. I'm a Democrat. I support the President of the United States, and I advocate for things that are actually affecting the black community. I'm honored to be here today in front of you all because the person sitting behind me is...
You're a Democrat? Turning Point USA Communications Director? This was at 2019 and you support the president?
My 75-year-old grandfather. I've always considered myself to be my grandfather's child, and I mean to say that my sense of humor, my passion, and my work ethic all comes from the man that is sitting behind me. My grandfather grew up on a sharecropping farm in the segregated South. He grew up in an America where words like racism and white nationalism held real meaning under the Democrat Party's Jim Crow laws.
This is the video about the Southern Switch, isn't it?
My grandfather's first job was given to him at the age of 5 years old, and his job was to lay tobacco out to dry in an attic in the South. My grandfather has picked cotton, and he has also had experiences with a Democrat terrorist organization of that time, the Ku Klux Klan.
Take a shot every time she says the word Democrat and then puts in front of it something that literally Democrats or anybody should not stand for.
They would regularly visit his home and they would shoot bullets into it. They had an issue with his father, my great-grandfather. During my formative years, I had the privilege of growing up in my grandfather's home. It's going to shock the committee, but not once, not in a single breath of a conversation did my grandfather tell me that I could not do something because of my skin color. Not once did my grandfather hold a gripe against the white man. I was simply never taught to view myself as a victim because of my heritage. I learned about faith in God, family, and hard work. Those were the only lessons of my childhood.
Faith, hard work, and family. Family is destabilized by the people you're capping for now. Faith, which was taught to you by white imperialists who came to this country, destroyed everything. Hard work, case in point. All that hard work for your dad, for your grandfather, he's sitting up there like, this poor child, he looked like Uncle Ruckus. I don't want to do that. I want to shit on some random person.
There isn't a single adult today that in good conscience would make the argument that America is a more racist or a more white nationalist society than it was when my grandfather was growing up.
Because we're not doing the racism out in front. We don't let the Ku Klux, we do let the Ku Klux Klan just walk around. Because we don't openly whip black people with whips. We don't openly whip black people. We're not racist anymore.
And yet we're hearing these terms sent around today because what they want to say is that brown people need to be scared, which seems to be the narrative that we hear every 4 years right ahead of a presidential election.
It's besides from, the Tucker Carlson, the person that you literally be on with, saying they're coming to your homes. The RNC video, they're coming to your income, single family households or whatever, single payer household, the single family home thing, whatever. And oh, they're coming there and they're gonna destroy your suburbs. All white people, like we literally just covered, like Tucker Carlson saying, "Oh, white people need to be afraid of like this washing of America to prove that white people are guilty of shit." Like, no, it's the narrative is black people need to be afraid, brown people need to be afraid. Absolutely.
Here are some things we never hear. 75% of the black boys in California don't meet state reading standards. In inner cities like Baltimore, within 5 high schools and 1 middle school, not a single student was found to be proficient in math or reading in 2016. The single motherhood rate in the black community, which was at 23% in the 1960s when my grandfather was coming up, is at a staggering 74% today. I am guessing there will be no committee hearings about that. There are more black babies aborted than born alive in cities like New York, and you have Democrat Governor Andrew Cuomo lighting up buildings to celebrate late-term abortions. I could go on and on. My point is that white nationalism did not do any of those things that I just brought up. Democrat policies did. Let me be clear. The hearing today is not about white nationalism or hate crimes. It's about fear-mongering, power, and control. It's a preview of a Democrat 2020 election strategy, same as the Democrat 2016 election strategy. They blame Facebook, they blame Google, they blame Twitter. Really, they blame the birth of social media.
That didn't age well.
Which has
That didn't age
their
well.
monopoly on minds. They called this hearing because they believe that if it wasn't for social media, voices like mine would never exist. That my movement, Blexit, which is inspiring black Americans to leave the Democrat Party, would have never come about. And they certainly believe that Donald Trump would not be in office today. Looking on the next thing to focus on now that the Russian collusion hoax has fallen apart.
That didn't age well either.
What they won't tell you about the statistics and the rise of white nationalism is that they've simply changed the data set points by widening the definition of hate crimes and upping the number of reporting agencies that are able to report on them. What I mean to say...
You mean it took new forms, so we opened it up, and then we created agencies to make sure that what we were saying was opening up was actually happening, and then it actually happened?
Is that they're manipulating statistics.
That didn't age well either.
The goal here is to scare blacks, Hispanics, gays, and Muslims into helping them censor dissenting opinions, ultimately into helping them regain control of our country's narrative, which they feel that they lost. They feel that President Donald Trump
go in your
should not
fridge,
have
son.
Hillary. If they actually were concerned about white nationalism, they would be holding hearings on Antifa, a far-left, violent, white gang who determined...
That didn't age well either.
One day in Philadelphia in August that I, a black woman, was not fit to sit in a restaurant. They chased me out. They yelled race traitor to a group of black and Hispanic police officers who formed a line to protect me from their ongoing assaults. They threw water at me. They threw eggs at me. And
they threw water and eggs at you. It sounds like it was Halloween.
Leftist media remained silent on it.
The leftist media remains silent on it. Even though, okay. CNN, Philly Voice, Newsweek, Chicago, Fox, Inquirer, Forward, The Hill, and then you get at the bottom, How to Boil an Egg. So that's a lie.
If they were serious about the rise of hate crimes, they may perhaps be examining themselves and the hate that they have drummed up in this country. Bottom line is that white supremacy, racism, white nationalism, words that once held real meaning, have now become nothing more than election strategies. Every 4 years, the black community is offered handouts and fear. Handouts and fear. Reparations and white nationalism. This is the Democrat preview. Of course, society is not perfectible. We've heard testimony of that today. There are pockets of evil that exist, and those things are horrible, and they should be condemned. But I believe the legacy and the ancestry of black Americans is being insulted every single day. I will not pretend to be a victim in this country, and I know that that makes many people on the left uncomfortable. I want to talk about real issues in black America. I want to talk about real issues in this country and real concerns. The biggest scandal, this is my last sentence, in American politics is that Democrats have been conning minorities into the belief that we are perpetual victims, all but ensuring our failure. Racial division and class warfare are central to the Democrat Party platform.
That didn't age well either.
They need blacks to hate whites, the rich to hate the poor, and soon enough it'll be the tall hating the short.
The time of the witness has expired.
The tall hating the Candace Owens is a grifter. I can't explain this to you anymore. Candace Owens is a grifter. Pure grifter. Pure fucking grifter. Oh shit, the mod is in. Uh-oh. Hey, how's it going? It's going well. We're talking about Bitchy McBitch. Oh my god, that's horrid. That's horrid. That is so bad. Everything in that video is so bad. We spent 10 minutes breaking that shit down. The grift, bad. Ew, nasty.